Hi, this is Ron with Lead Skill, and I have a simple question for us today. What does a leader control? So, on the face of it, it is a simple question, but it taps into a lot of things that take us into complexity and some pretty difficult areas to answer. At the root of it, I think that what we're really interested in when we ask the question, what does a leader control, is what is the source of power? Where does the source of power lie? We often operate under the myth, one of the leadership myths, that leaders have, these vast powers and great control over, companies, corporations, organizations, definitely over teams, and the people that we say direct reports, direct control over these areas. And I want to challenge that a little bit. What do I, as a leader, have control over? The reason this is useful is because we all have blind spots. We like to think that we see things totally clearly as they are. But when we're honest, we have to admit there are things that we are not that clear about. And we do have blind spots. And my interest is that leaders not get blindsided. So you need to be aware of your blind spots to avoid being blindsided. And the way to do that is to increase our awareness, to become more self-aware, but also more aware of people around us and more aware of the larger circles, the ripple effect, society and our competitors and our partners and just what's happening all around us. So increase your awareness if you want to have more power. But let's return to the question, what does a leader control? Let me share with you a model. And again, all models are partial. It's like a map. A map is not the same thing as the actual territory that it describes, but it gives you a convenient way to manipulate and to manage and think about, distances and features and, what is there and where am I and where should I be going? And so just like that, a model takes complexity and helps us manage it. So let me share with you this model. You've got a circle of control. I've got a circle of control, and I have a larger circle of awareness. So what do I control? When you really look at it, I think, and you're honest, the only thing you truly have direct control over is yourself, your actions, your thoughts, your feelings, your beliefs. You have control over yourself, and you have influence with other people. You have influence over events outside of you. You might even have indirect control over a larger set of things. But what you have direct control over is really just yourself. And so the question arises, how much self-control, how much self-regulation are you practicing? How much self-mastery are you exercising? And one of the keys to extending or growing our self-control or self-mastery, self-regulation is to begin tapping into a greater circle of awareness, to pay attention to more of the things that are happening both within us and around us. And so if we can grow our circle of awareness, it lays the groundwork for us to grow our circle of control for ourselves. And the more awareness we have, we can also extend that and grow our circle of influence. And so there's a little more complex model, but it includes more pieces. And so I'm going to share it with you here, a more fully elaborated model of the circles of power. And it looks like this: personal and interpersonal effectiveness. So the centermost circle, of course, is control. You have control over yourself. Going out from there, you have influence, both through collaborating with people and by connecting with people. You have influence with other people, and by working with people, by leading people, by networking and building social networks, you have influence in these areas. And then The larger outer circles is where you have the ability to grow awareness, to learn about things, to test reality. And so you have a circle of concern and also a circle of awareness. So you can be aware of things, but not really paying close attention or really deeply concerned about it. So the circle of concern is a little bit smaller than your larger circle of awareness. And what's not represented here, but we definitely as leaders need to keep in mind, is what lies beyond the outer reaches of our circle of awareness. A vast, vast field of unawareness. There's a lot that we're not aware of. And if we keep that in mind, we're practicing wisdom. This takes us back to Socrates. He said, the only thing that makes me really wise or smart is that I know that I don't know. I know that I don't have all the answers. And so the people who pretend that they have all the answers or think that they have to know everything are actually going to be blindsided, because there's huge amounts of things that we don't know and that we're not even aware of. And we need to learn about them through people, through opening up our own channels and increasing our awareness. And so what does a leader control? We control what we think about, what we say. We control our actions. And through that, we control our awareness and our influence and work with other people. So this is some of the keys to sorting out our areas of personal and interpersonal effectiveness. Now, this kind of model is something I work on with leaders whenever I'm coaching and also in training groups of leaders, leadership development, to understand the implications and the ramifications and how to use this model in their day-to-day work. So whenever you have an upsetting situation, how do you deal with that? Do you even know where it's located? Which circle is it in? Is it in the circle of concern? Is it a circle that you have influence over? Is it a circle of direct control? Can you do something about it? Do you know where your blind spots lie? And are you managing actively for your blind spots? If you're driving a car, you need to know that every vehicle has places where you have blind spots. Now, we are working to bring those down. We've installed cameras around the backside of a car and on the edges, on the corners of a car, so that we can actually tune in and see places that previously we've been blinded to. Even with the cameras, there are spots where we have blind spots where you actually need to physically turn or check your spots before you change lanes so you don't veer into someone else. And so these are the same sort of analogies apply to our leadership, is become aware of your blind spots so that you can check your blind spots so you can manage for them. So the circles of interpersonal and personal effectiveness is a model that helps us sort out where we have control, where we have influence, and how we can grow our personal leadership. Thanks for tuning in. I hope that you got some value from this. Give me your thoughts and your comments, and tune in to our other videos to explore deeper topics on leadership and interpersonal effectiveness and emotional intelligence.